New threats on America's southwest border, raising concerns. For years, we've been concerned about the flow of illegal guns into the U.S. and ties to Mexican drug cartels. Well, what about the flow of weapons of mass destruction across the border?
That's different. According to our next guest, it's a serious threat, and it comes from Iran's growing connections in Latin America.
Congressman Mike McCaul is the chairman of the Homeland Security Subcommittee on Oversight, Investigations, and Management. Congressman, why have we heard more about this?
I don't know. It's a real threat. We don't have operational control over the border. And we know that Iran has a heavy influence in the Western Hemisphere, particularly through Hezbollah, the Revolutionary Guard, and the Quds forces. They have an alliance with Hugo Chavez in Venezuela and with Fidel Castro in Cuba. Just recently, a DEA operation, Operation Titan, exposed a link between the drug cartels and these Middle Eastern terrorist groups in terms of selling drugs and money laundering. And the question is, at what point will this financing role become more operational? We had the DNI, Mr. Clapper, say that he believes Iran's changed its calculus and is prepared to attack in the United States. We know Hezbollah operatives are in the United States. Yeah. So as the tensions rise in the Straits of Hormuz and the Middle East between Israel and Iran, and as they approach nuclear capability, this becomes a real concern.
Absolutely. And, Congressman, the worry is, you know, those Mexican drug cartels, they don't value life. They'll do anything for money. So if somebody comes over from Iran and they've got a suitcase that's glowing, they're not going to ask any questions. They'll just show them the way.
It's all about money, no respect for life. And I think, you know, the Iranian operative that approached what he thought were Los Zetas drug cartels to assassinate the Saudi ambassador in Washington, D.C. is a real wake-up call there. That's an operational role on the part of Iran in our hemisphere.
Let's keep it on the border and switch topics to Fast and Furious. You wrote a letter to Secretary Napolitano. We can't read the whole thing, but give us an idea of what's in it.
Well, you know, the Secretary testified before our committee. I asked her questions specific as to Fast and Furious. The answers were not acceptable. We know that an ICE agent participated on the task force that ran Operation Fast and Furious, and yet she couldn't really tell me what his role was. I asked if they had done some sort of internal investigation, and they basically couldn't answer that question. So I met with the Inspector General. I've sent a letter to him and to Napolitano requesting a formal investigation into the role of DHS, what they knew, and when they knew it.
Congressman, briefly, final question. Do you feel there's been a government cover-up, perhaps at the administration level, into what happened?
I think there are a lot of people running for cover. I think there are memos that went to Washington. They want to either plead incompetence or, you know, they're either incompetent or complicit. And so she denied having conversations with Holder. And so I can't imagine being Secretary of Homeland Security, knowing that your agency had a role in this, and yet doing nothing to have an internal review as to what happened.
All right.
That's what we're going to do in the Congress.
All right. Thank you very much, Congressman Mike McCaul. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks so much.
All right. Coming up straight ahead, we